Hello and welcome to Living Your Spirit with Anthony, where we cut through the noise and get real about life, love, and purpose. This isn't about fixing you. It's about uncovering the power that's already inside you. I talk about hermetics, energy, spirit, and individual essence. Notice how many may lead you to believe you need something or something is missing. You need a certain book, you need a certain course, you need a certain degree, or to go to a certain college, or live in a certain neighborhood, or buy certain clothes, or eat at certain restaurants, or watch certain TV shows. It's as if you always need to be, do, or have something to make yourself whole. My friends, we are already whole. I focus on the wisdom, peace, and satisfaction already within. Join me as we explore the patterns shaping your relationships, your health, and your wealth, and discover practical ways to live with peace, power, and purpose. All right, sit back, relax, and let's jump right into the conversation. Hello, today we are talking about Charlie Kirk, you, and the hidden cost of silence. So we're going to contrast being outspoken with being silent. Welcome to episode 132. This is Anthony, and the news and the media has gone crazy, right? There's so much controversy. Charlie Kirk. To be honest, I don't follow much in the media. I don't watch the news. Every once in a while, something will pop up. And of course, if something pops up and you give it attention, you're constantly fed more and more and more. So I saw a little news blurb about someone named Charlie Kirk. I had no clue who this was. I clicked on it. I found out who he was, but I still didn't understand. I didn't know what he stood for, what he spoke about, who he was really. When you think about media and social media platforms and politicians and the people, the public, I'm like, okay, there's this guy, Charlie Kirk. Someone killed him. But of course, once I did that, more and more stuff was fed to me. Facebook fed me stuff. Insta fed me stuff. TikTok fed me stuff. And then I started to get a more clear picture of who he was, the things that he said, how he said them, and what he stood for. And then it kind of became more clear to me potentially why someone would want to silence him. He's speaking up. He's speaking out. He's speaking against a lot of people and a lot of positions of power. So what happens? The people that are in power start to get intimidated, maybe start to feel like they're going to lose their power, and they make a decision to change things. So on the flip side of that, when we look at relationships, our own personal relationships with our partner, our spouse, our children, our coworkers, our friends and family, and we look at that in an opposite manner where we don't speak up, we don't say anything, we people please, we don't want to rock the boat, we don't want to cause conflict, we don't want to have an argument, we don't want to feel abandoned, which is going into some stuff from childhood, some core wounds. We don't want to hurt anyone. We want to be loved. So we people please. And in a lot of cases, that is through being silent, not speaking our truth, not being authentic, not letting people know what we want, what we don't want, what we like, what we don't like, and in essence, who we truly are. So I thought this was a pretty interesting dichotomy to look at. Relationships, living your spirit, speaking up, and then staying silent. The cost of speaking up in Charlie Kirk's situation was people in power started to feel intimidated, I believe, and wanted to silence the noise. Intimidated, fearful, afraid. What can we do about this? We want to remain on our pedestal where we are. You in everyday life, I don't want to lose this family. I don't want to lose this relationship. I don't want to lose this job. I don't want to lose this marriage, this partner. I don't want to lose my connection with my children. So I stay silent. I don't say certain things. I don't do certain things. I don't act in certain ways. I kind of tone it down a little bit. I don't say as much as I want to say. I give half of the story. I go to bed with things not released. I don't get things off my chest. I don't tell my boss how I feel. I don't tell my children that they can't do something and why. I don't tell my spouse, my partner, my husband, my wife, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, I don't like this. Here's why. I don't want this. Here's why. Here's what I need. Here's what I want. Here's why. You get the picture. So when you look at the contrast between speaking up and staying silent, both of them are really, really important, and both of them have very serious consequences. Now, we are not, most of us, in the public eye. We're not in politics. We're not jumping up and down on social media. We don't have millions of followers. So when we speak up, the consequences are only within the container of which we speak up. It's just between you and me. It's just between you and your partner. It's just between you and your boss or your coworker or your neighbor or your mom or your dad or your kid, whatever it is. That's a very small number of people. But yet, we don't want to speak up in a lot of cases. We want to stay safe. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to ruin the relationship. We don't want to get in an argument. And there's so much more that I could go into about why we feel these things. But that's a totally different episode. That's core wounds and attachment styles and trauma, and we're not going there today. What we're looking at is a race of people, a country of people, a planet of humans that are afraid to speak up. And the consequences of that versus the people that are willing to speak up and speak loud and be heard and be on social media and in the news. And in both cases, we have consequences. some good, some bad. Authenticity, living your true self, speaking your truth, all of that is very valuable. It all depends on how other people view it, how they feel, how they hear it, how they accept it, how they see it, what they think about it, how they feel about it. And in turn, we get consequences. So I don't want to focus a lot on Charlie Kirk or the media or the news or politics. I want to focus on living your spirit as who you are, your authentic self, speaking your truth, loving yourself, loving your opinions, loving what you think and feel, being okay with it, and being okay with talking about it, communicating it, and coming from a place of love. This is me. I love me. And because I love me, I am able to speak my truth. I am able to be authentic. And remaining in relationships where we can be that free. That's what living your spirit is. When you sense something, when you feel something, when you know something, you know what to say, you know what to do, you know how to proceed, you know what you want, you know what you don't want, you know why, but you still don't say it. You still don't communicate. You still don't say, well, here's what I think. Well, here's what I feel. Here's what I believe. Here's what I need. Here's what I want. Everybody has wants. Everybody has needs. Everybody has thoughts. Everybody has things that they want to reveal, things that they want to let out. Creativity, opinions, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, actions, reactions, responses. That's what makes the world go round. That's why the planet spins. Everyone's different. So when you're in a relationship, regardless of the type of relationship, and you don't speak up, there are consequences. There may not be consequences immediately, but down the road, if you haven't said what you wanted, what you needed, why, it leads to resentment. It leads to a lack of trust. It leads to dishonesty. And it leads to disconnection. So how many days, weeks, and months can you go without saying, I don't like having dinner at 8 p.m. I don't like having sex when I'm tired. I don't feel right when you talk to our daughter that way. I don't understand why you come home late every Friday. I don't feel connected to you when you don't hug me before bed. I don't understand why you would put me down in a meeting. All of those things are things that we kind of we sweep under the rug, we stay silent, we stay quiet. We don't want to cause trouble. We don't want to have arguments. We don't want to seem like the bad person. And all of that stuff sticks. It builds. It's like you are building a nice little brick something in your backyard. You take one brick, you take some mortar, and there it is. And then you take another brick and some mortar, and there's 2 bricks. Over time, what do you have? You have a nice wall. It's the same in relationships when you don't speak up. You have a nice wall. And if you're in relationships where you're doing that, you may see a pattern of, I don't speak up in my marriage. I don't speak up to my children. I don't speak up to my boss. I don't speak up to my coworkers or my parents or my neighbors or my friends or. So you have a bunch of people and you have a pattern that you don't speak up. You're not authentic. You're not truthful. You're not honest. And it's not to shame and not to judge. We all have it. It's a coping mechanism. It keeps us safe. It keeps us from rocking the boat. And again, childhood, blah, blah, blah. Things happened. We grew up. We didn't grow out of it. We still carry it. However, as adults, we need to make a decision around how we want to live now. Do we want to live a lie? Do we want to be false, fake, or inauthentic? Or do we want to live our spirit? Do you want to live your spirit? Are you living your spirit? Do you know how to live your spirit? Living your spirit is sensing what you want and going for it. Feeling what you need to say and saying it. Sensing or feeling what you need to do, doing it, going for it, speaking about it, communicating about it, and not just bringing all the heavy energy with it. Oh God, I got to say this thing. Oh, this is going to be terrible. I don't know. I don't know. Should I do this? I really don't want to do this. Why am I going to do this? Well, I really want to be authentic. That's so heavy. That's in your head. It's heady, it's heavy, and that's not the energy that you want to bring to living your spirit. You want to make it a little bit lighter. You want to bring it up a few notches. You want to feel like living your authentic self, living your spirit, speaking your truth is something easy, something loving, something compassionate and caring for you. And over time, those people that you are in relationship with will start to understand that it's also loving for them. They will also start to return the love. They will sense the love. They will feel the love coming from you and your authentic self. And that will invite them to live more from their authentic self. And now they're speaking up, and now they're communicating, and now things move a lot more in flow. Because you have relationships where people are living their true spirit, their authentic self. They're being true to themselves. They're being true to one another. And all of that just clicks and works. The problem is we don't understand that because we don't take the first step. And when we don't take the first step, those around us don't take the first step either. So we get trapped in this loop of fake, false, inauthentic lies, dishonesty, disconnection, resentment, distrust. And we wonder why relationships don't work. It's like, well, we don't give them the chance. And yes, it is challenging. It is difficult. It's difficult to be vulnerable because of that thing that I've said a few times: childhood, trauma, attachment styles. all gets us into patterns that we carry through adulthood. But welcome to living your spirit. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to take little steps every day to be more authentic, more honest, more open, so that you can live your spirit, so that you can be artistic, so that you can be creative, so that you can dance through life, dance through relationships, dance with your partner, your children, your friends, your family. Dancing through love, connection, compassion, spirit, essence, authenticity sounds so amazing compared to speaking your truth and being silenced by someone. And much different than simply not speaking your truth. So that's a lot to unpack. I've said a lot. It's really, really deep, but it gets you thinking. It gets you feeling. How am I living? How is my life? And how is my relationship with myself? And once you start to feel that and you start to change the relationship with yourself, it gets a little bit easier to start changing the relationship with others. Start being honest with yourself. Do the thing that you say you're going to do for yourself. If you say you're going to get up at 8, get up at 8. Trust yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you say you're going to speak up to your boss, speak up to your boss. Be honest with yourself. Trust yourself. It's not going to be easy, especially if you're in a pattern of doing it and you've been doing it for years. It's not going to be easy. But like I said, this is your challenge. Should you choose to accept it, you will get closer and closer to authentic relationships, well-connected relationships, strong relationships, loving, compassionate, connected relationships, and you will get closer to living your spirit. If you have questions, please click on fan mail in the show's notes. I'll talk to you in the next episode. All right, that's our show for today. Have a question? Click on fan mail in the show's description. Thanks for tuning in to Living Your Spirit with Anthony. If today's conversation hit home, share it with someone who needs to live from a deeper place of truth. And if you're ready to go further in your discovering of your true spirit, you can grab a 1-hour solution at anthony-johnson.com. 3 powerful assessments to show you where you're being called and where you're meant to thrive. Until next time, my friends, keep living your spirit.